Hey everybody, this is Chad Daniels, and you have landed in the middle of somewhere. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming back, and thank you for tuning in so we could stop what was going on before the show, because mother of fuck. Across from me, as always, is Cyrus Amundson.
I'll keep doing it during the show, child.
Shut up.
Number one ranked white Rastafarian, Jason Bumbleclawed, Lord of Mercy. They told me to do it. They were both like, we would like to stamp onto this impression.
Whoa.
They both wanted to stamp onto this.
We were both begging you to shut up.
Just to not do that. I want to be clear.
They said, put it on Instagram. That's a killer reel. And I was like, you guys think so? You think that'll take off?
I want to
Jason
make
Bumbleclawed?
it clear. I believe everybody should stay in their own racial lane. I don't know where the
He's a
camera is.
white
Where am I?
Rastafarian.
I wanna
Right,
make sure
He's
you
exactly.
a
stay in
white
your lane.
Rastafarian.
Just racially stay in your lane.
I
That's
am
all I wanna-
racially in my lane. He's a white Rastafarian.
Yeah, but that's...
And let
but
me
that's
tell
not
you
it.
something, child. He's trying to start his own island. It's called Rasta Dice. I'm going to use my dad's money. He was in finance. Listen here, child. I took a gap year in college.
Hey everybody, this is Chad Daniels, and you have landed in the middle of somewhere. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming back. Across from me, annoying me as always, is Cyrus Amundson.
Making this podcast a lot of money.
Would you like to introduce our guest?
I would love to introduce our guest.
We have a guest.
We have a guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a human man that I have known for 16 years.
A lot of years.
We met. So it's Ben Roy, everybody, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, there we go. What an
Ben
intro.
Roy. I would say Ben Roy is living, I'm going to say a lot of nice stuff about you, but I think it's all important. You're going to get uncomfortable. If anybody stops me, I will go back to the white Rastafarian voice. So just let it happen.
Choices.
It's hard. It's a hard decision.
Hey.
I'm going to pull this thread all the way out.
Okay, and then wrap it around your neck.
Yeah.
And just,
Wrap it around his neck.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go?
Because I have a feeling if I did it around his neck, it's still going to keep going.
Oh my God, it's too
See what I
tight.
mean?
Okay.
It doesn't...
I can't
it
breathe,
never-
That's
Lord.
what I mean. It's not going to stop.
I'm seeing my relatives. It's that sort of stuff. So, listen here.
I'm going to pay for the lawyer your wife uses to take your child from you.
That's okay. I'll see my little bean on the weekend. A white Rastafarian of the week. I don't know how it turned into of the week, but I do think that's a good show. When you actually quit this show, I do think white Rastafarian, and we just interview people with white dreads.
Yeah.
I do think that's not a bad show.
Well, start writing it, because I'm pretty close to done.
So Ben Roy is with us. So Ben, you are living what I believe to be an artistic dream, and you just have to Ben is as talented of a musician as he is a comedian, and I find him to be, as someone who tells stories on stage, I find you to be the best comedic storyteller in the United States of America.
Stop it.
I know you weren't going to like it. I love you a lot. You're very, very good.
Shit, I can't.
Should I do it in that voice?
No. You were doing
said
great. I
if
won't
he's
talk. I won't
accepting
talk.
it, if he's accepting it, you
I'm
gotta
accepting
stop.
it. I'm
I
accepting
feel like
it.
I'm being held at
Look at me.
gunpoint right
Look
now.
at me. I'm
Fuck
having fun.
this shit.
Dude, I love this. No, don't go back to the white Rastafarian thing.
Okay.
No. Don't do that.
But did you guys love Rasta Dice?
No.
Okay. So also,
God.
we met.
I'm sorry.
We met 100 years ago. There was somebody. So Nickelodeon, when we were growing up,
oh my God.
they would shift at night to Nick at Night. So it'd be
Yes.
kids shows,
And
then
that's when like dirty mom shit happened.
Yeah, it was Nick.
Well-
it was Nick Mom.
so Nick Jr. was Nick Jr. around the clock, and somebody's like, what if Nick Jr. had their own Nick at Night? And so it's kids in the day,
and it was Mom at night.
Nick Mom in the evening.
Mom in the evening.
Oh, I was
And
just
they
teasing.
wanted us.
Yeah, no.
It was a real thing.
It was.
Could I be a producer?
Yes, I think you could. I mean, given what we've seen Justin do, I think you'd fit in just fine.
Thank you.
And so, I'm sorry, Justin. Please don't.
Also,
please keep doing our
Justin
show.
and Cody are with us.
Justin and Cody are with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, that Cody's got the curls we were talking about.
Cody has curls, and like we said, no middle ground on those. You're either a good guy
Yep.
or you're a creep.
Yep. And we don't know what he is.
We don't know.
No.
We haven't known him long enough.
Coin pockets full of Astroglide.
I
It
think
creeps
he's
everybody out.
I think he's faking nice now just for the big play.
Yes,
This is a long
big
con.
This is
score.
one of
Yeah.
those
Oh,
things
big
like,
time.
did you hear what he was doing for the last 16 years? And we're like, what?
Yeah.
We paid him and helped fund that?
Dude, when he
I
goes
think
when he
that's
goes
what's
to
coming.
prison for whatever he does, his ex-fiance is going to be interviewed. And she's going to be like, "I told you, that's why dogs bite them."
Call back to a previous episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm assuming everyone's
No, I was
watching
saying it's
in the
great.
stuff. Okay.
I really love that. I just like to call it out. I like to call it a call out because in my comedy, if I don't do that, people don't recognize it. I think I'm going to retire. Ben and I got asked to do a thing called Mom's Night Out.
Nick Mom's Night Out. God, was that bad.
They asked these two human men, someone who looks like this and a 28-year-old without children, to perform with all the moms on Mom's Night Out.
Yep. Yeah. Ooh, that was bad.
It
Was it bad or
I don't remember it. I say it was bad because I don't remember it being good. So that's why
Yeah, that's
I
normally how it
immediately
works.
went to it must have been bad.
Now, I will say that was the first moment either of us in person met the funniest human on the planet, Miss Pat.
Yes. Miss
oh
Pat
god
crushed
damn
it.
is she unbelievable.
Miss Pat crushed
So
it.
she was in my. I was a new face in 2010, and I never heard of her. And she showed up and fucking demolished everything. I mean, just so funny
Yeah.
and totally like who she is, like off stage.
Yeah.
like just a genuine, like what you see on stage.
That's absolutely what you get.
Yeah, Miss Pat.
We were
is
in
that.
New York. I can't remember what we were doing, but we all went out to eat, and I didn't eat enough of the chicken off my chicken wings, and she yelled at me. Everyone was turned to our table because she was letting everyone know this white boy didn't know how to eat chicken wings, and I fucking could not stop laughing.
Can I pause you?
Yeah.
You don't need to go anywhere with voices. You don't need to build off that. I can see your brain
you.
turning as to
Thank you.
how can I jump?
Don't do
no,
it.
no. I see you breathing in. You're trying to gather air.
Can I ask a question?
Put it not in any in your
No
normal
voices.
voice.
Just can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was it jerk chicken?
Okay, so you guys were performing with these.
So we're doing
moms.
so Miss Pat, so we met her there. I have one of my favorite, I probably told this Miss Pat thing, but we did the Johnny Carson's festival, and I hadn't seen her since you and I met her at the Nick Mom's Night Out taping.
Yep.
And at the Johnny Carson festival in what town in Nebraska is it?
Norfolk.
Norfolk,
It's
Nebraska.
It's supposed to be Norfolk, but I think they say
The Norfolk.
or no Norfolk. I think it's spelled Norfolk, but they say Norfolk.
Oh,
I think
okay,
that's
so
what
it's
it is.
not like
It's something-
Massachusetts
yeah,
where it's
it's
Suffolk, but they
something
say
weird
Suffolk.
spelling.
It's something weird, but
Yeah, and then how
other
they
thing.
pronounce- yeah.
Yes. So it's Arkansas, Arkansas.
Yeah.
So in the, I don't think that was right. So you get a host family there, and everybody is in. I brought 200 people from the town in this room, and Joe Wong, who was on Letterman a bunch of times, who's one of the best joke writers of his time, is on the far end of the room. And I didn't even know Miss Pat was in the festival. And she walks into the room, and across 200 Norfolkians just goes, "Joe Wong, you look like every Korean woman I ever met." And then she just left the room. I was like, well, I got to quit comedy. That's the funniest thing I've
Yeah.
seen a person do in a room.
She's a sniper.
She
rules.
popped in for, it was like she might as well have leaned around a doorway. But so,
Just we'll like loud. We'll like make it everybody's thing.
yes.
And it'll be funny. Like I just watched her do that. Thankfully, for my embarrassment level, because I'm just a nervous person, I never got close enough for her to yell things about how I appear, because I've got plenty. You know what I mean? Hey, you look. I don't know. She would say something bad about what.
Yeah, there's some vulnerabilities.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks.
There's some
Thank you.
vulnerabilities.
My God, thank you. You
No
noticed.
problem.
You
I have
noticed.
seen them over the years. I've watched you carry them.
Come
I've
over here.
watched you
Come over
carry
here.
them.
This
Don't
is
go
where
over there.
this is where the love is.
No, I'm
I'm
agreeing
telling
with you.
This is
I'm
where
not
the
trying
love
to
is.
let you
over the
feel
show, I'll
invisible.
migrate in the direction as to who.
Yeah.
We've been friends, but I feel
Feel
like
the
he's a
energy.
little-
This is
that's-
what happens on every show that we do where there's a guest here. He's charming, and I continue to be myself. And at the end of it,
Don't say be
I
myself.
said myself.
I continue to be off-putting.
I'm myself. And because he's got this magneticism, and I haven't figured it out because I do think it's a scam. But
It's obviously my girth, more gravity, dude.
Yeah, it's gravity. You pull people towards you,
Thank you.
naturally. Ben Roy is with us, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Roy.
If you're just popping, how did you start it again? If you're just popping in, how did you? What was it?
Hey, this is Chad Daniels, and you land in the middle of somewhere.
Yeah, you land in the. Thank you. Hi, this is Ben Roy, and you've landed in the middle of somewhere.
Oh, you hit that.
Was that pretty good?
really good.
Yeah.
And you could do
Think
it
we
in
can clip
this
that?
voice if you need to, too. You know
Are we
what I
back
mean?
to doing voices?
Nope.
No. Sorry about
everybody
that.
stick
No,
with
no,
their
See,
original.
Listen, mine was the safe one. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? I did a voice.
mine was a safe one,
No. Okay, so what are we doing now? Because I just don't. I'm afraid of your voices.
So, as I always do, I ask the guest before about some stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you kind of give me snippets. If I got to pick the first one you're
Yeah.
going to tell, I hope that you pick the one about defending your home.
Oh God.
So yeah, you defended you, and that is the one. Just so everybody knows, based on how this goes,
Wow.
that is the one he told us wasn't funny at all. It's just a story.
You said you wanted stories.
and
Right.
I do want them. I'm
and
just,
you
I'm
said
just
you
setting
wanted
people
real
up.
stories.
I do want
and
them.
I'm
then
telling
you
you,
came in with
that
Miss
is-
Cleo, and it weird.
Not Miss Cleo.
It is
it's Jason
very Miss Cleo.
Bumbleclod.
It's
I'm
not.
sorry that
You just deepened your voice and did the Miss Cleo thing, and that's what it is.
you could make an argument there.
I am.
You could
I'm
make
making.
an
It's not
argument.
even an argument. It's a.
Can I thank you so much for calling him out on his bullshit? It's
I
nice
just-
to have a get because when I do it, it's like, oh, you want to end the podcast and I don't look
No, I'm
pretty.
gonna tell you something right now. You've been gaslit since day.
That's not
fucking
accurate.
one.
That's not accurate.
He's been
Thank you.
That's
gaslighting
not
you.
Thank you.
accurate.
And
That's not
I'm just.
accurate.
I'm
I don't
just-
know what gaslighting is. I just know my 20-year-old daughter always tells me I'm doing it to her.
It's when you set gas
I
on
refuse
fire.
to
No,
look
all
it
right.
up.
Okay, so I'll start the story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you,
let's do it.
somebody tried to. No, what I want to tell people about you, because in addition to music and comedy, you also have been studying the art of jiu-jitsu for quite some time.
Yes, but that plays no part in how I.
But I just want to say, you carry the vibe of someone that I don't want to entangle myself with. Whether
I
you
guess,
whether
know,
you feel
I
that or
mean,
not, but you
the
carry it.
Jiu-jitsu is funny because it's only as good as the people you're doing it around, and I do it around dads. You know what I mean? I'm not like Joe Rogan is like rolling with like famous
Yeah.
fighters
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I train with dad. I dad wrestle.
Yeah, but that's probably who you're going to have to fight.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
another dad.
definitely. I
Because-
don't trust dads.
I will tell you, you do have something about it's not the tattoos. It's just something about you where I go, if you go, hey, give me that jacket, I would go, I don't want to, but all right.
Oh,
It is.
well,
I don't know if it's a
I-
look.
I like that jacket.
I don't know if it's
Do
like a
ya?
look in your eye.
I do like that.
Do
jacket.
ya? Could there be two more different looking men in the history of the world who invited
I'm still
a
really trying to
third
figure out how you two got.
I don't
here?
fucking know.
We have no idea. I think it was a series of road trips and traumas that
Yeah.
bonded us into this moment.
He's got goddamn buttons on a hoodie.
Yeah, I
It
know.
looks like a onesie.
I know.
It's
Well,
like
this-
it's more of a beachy hoodie, which I think
Yeah,
goes
you
with
are
what was
very
happening.
beachy.
I'm feeling very beachy.
But we're in
Lon.
Minneapolis.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
Yeah, but no, it's just an odd pairing. This
It
is a
is,
very,
yeah.
you know, I mean,
This
you don't-
looks like Paddington Bear's jacket.
And that's fine.
I love how you were all for that.
Well, yeah, I don't
Paddington
care.
Bear fucks. Everybody knows
I don't,
that.
I don't care if you make fun of me.
That's where we're so different.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
why
get-
I could throw an attack back at you, but all it's going to happen is in a month I'm going to get a text. Do you really think that about my shirt?
A month? You think I'm gonna hold it for a month?
No, I'm saying still a month.
Oh
from
yeah,
now.
because you're getting
Does
one
he
on the
hold
drive to the
on
next
things
venue.
You say to him like insults.
I just think.
Well, I bury him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the tone.
I
Yeah.
bury
That's
him.
the tone that
just
hurts.
think that maybe
It's when it gets low and a
he
little
should
high.
be
like-
stronger.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
shit.
call that therapy. There's a thing that happens on this program between Chad. It's not just Chad. It's Chad and Chad Nation, we'll call it. The portion of the show that's really Chad heavy, which is a lot of our fans. They like to therapize me. I'll get a lot of DMs I'll
Yeah.
get some DMs where people
really wanna
people
talk
like
to
to
you.
they like to diagnose me with what's going on.
Sure.
But
I
I'm
relate
not
to
here
that.
for
I
it.
think that's why I relate to you.
I think that's why you and I get along really well. Yeah. You
very-
have an Adam Caton Holland. I know what it
Yeah,
goes like.
that's
That's-
my
that-
interaction with Adam
is
Caton Holland,
very
a comedian, very
similar.
funny, very same thing.
Oh, I
Very
love him.
sim-
Yeah.
yeah.
I hadn't met him for forever, and then we finally met in Denver at Comedy Works South maybe 2.5 years ago. It was right before he had, I think, his first kid.
Yep.
So however old he is, and then great. We hit the ground running.
Very, very great guy.
He said he didn't like either one of you.
No. And
No,
I,
he
don't wanna
does-
be-
yeah,
I just want his acceptance.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
get it.
And I can see that
No,
that's what's
trust
happening
me,
here.
I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm good. So somebody's breaking into your home.
Yeah, tell us about this.
Somebody breaks into. Are you
Okay.
Are you in California or Denver?
No, we're living in Denver. This was part of the reason I got into stand-up was that my ex-wife, and I'm still very close to her. Hi, Boo Boo Child.
Right back there if you wanna
Hi,
wave.
Boo Boo. How are you? My platonic life partner, my baby mama. She worked at Comedy Works, and she used to come home very late at night because she was a staff at a comedy club, and you get home sometimes at 2 or 3 in the morning on a Saturday night. And I was asleep, and we had a 2-story like townhouse, and I'm over the doorway. There's like an awning, so I hear the car pull up, and I kind of our bed, like our headboard, is like right over right at that window. So I kind of lean out, and I would wait, like just to be sure she got home safe. And I see her just walking up the sidewalk, and I hear her come in the door, and I'm like, oh, well, now I can start going to sleep. And then I'm laying there for a few minutes, and all of a sudden I just hear bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, what the fuck is she doing down there? Like, it sounded like she was making veal or like just pounding. Like, it just was like, what are you doing this late at night?
Yeah.
What kind of food are you making? And so I close my eyes. I don't think anything of it. And then I hear her voice from our doorway, like 3 feet from me. And the banging is still going, hey, wake up. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I got out of the car, and there was some guy on the corner, and he started following me towards the apartment when I got out of the cab that I was in. And I came in the door, and now he's banging on the front door. And I was like, holy shit. So
Yeah.
I look out the bedroom window, and we had an awning over the door. I can't see who's there. I can just see the shadow across the pavement from our porch light. And I'm like, oh, fuck, there's like a dude on my porch banging on the window, like banging on the door. And so I out the window was like, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing. Like, can I help you? And he just starts mumbling. Like, I couldn't make out anything he was saying. He was just, you know.
That's the noise you want.
Yeah. Just a mumble.
Oh,
right?
in that case, I'll be right down.
Oh, did you say?
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Let me put anything down and walk down there with just my hands.
I've seen the first 3 episodes, but we can start over for you. Come
Yeah.
on in.
So I get so I'm like, he's just mumbling, and that's when I put on like, okay, you got to be a dude now, kind of like be aggressive. So I was like, hey, man, I don't know who the fuck you are. Get off my fucking porch. And then I couldn't see him. All he yelled was, the woman who just entered the house knows who I am. And then he just fucking starts banging even harder. And I can see from his movement that he's kicking my door. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I was like, the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Do you know this
To the
man?
knife drawer.
Do you know this man? And she was like, no, I don't know. He was just on the next corner. I don't know who the fuck this is. So I got up and I went to the top of our stairs, and the door is at the bottom. He's hitting it.
Can I pause and ask you a
Yeah.
question? Because this is a very trusting moment.
Yes.
How long had you been married at this point?
I don't even know that we were married yet.
That is a very trusting moment in a relationship, to have a mumbling lunatic banging on your door going, she knows who the fuck I am. And you being like, does he? And she's like, I don't know, no. And then you're going to be like, sounds like the truth to me. Let me head down and figure out what's going on with this human hurricane.
Why don't you go handle your ex-boyfriend before he kicks our door down? I can't believe you dated the big bad wolf. Jesus Christ.
I think
That's very trusting.
it is. I just think I know that my ex is a daytime dude kind of lady.
Okay.
Like I think if anybody were to try to break in to the house, it would be daytime dudes,
Okay.
not nighttime 2 a.m. hanging on a corner. She's just not that kind of a lady.
Sure.
And I even refer to her as a lady. This just feels like I'm showing how sexually inept I am when I keep referring to her as a lady. So the door, as I look down the stairs, the fucking door is like shaking. And I'm like, he's going to kick the fucking door down. So I'm like standing there, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh shit. And it's silent for about a minute. And I was like, I did like this ninja type walk. I had like a small knife, and I'm coming down the stairs, and she's at the top of the stairs. And I look through the peephole, and he's gone. There's no one there. It's just I can see the street and everything. And I'm like, fuck, I think he's gone. And I'm looking around, and then he fucking popped right back. He was hiding beside the fucking door. And at that point, I was like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
And
Goosebumps?
she's like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, what am I going to fucking do? What are you going to This is going to be a 2-person job because this guy was fucking racked. He was just a short, like squat built dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy, I told her, I'm like, he's pretty fucking big. Like, I'm like, this is going to be a brawl.
Good for you for saying it's going to be a 2-person job and not going like, he followed you.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. He didn't fucking follow me into the house.
I'm going to eat my portion of this. I want you to know I'm a guy. I'll take 55 to 60% of the beating. I want you to know, but you're going to take yours.
We're
Jim.
very different that way. I'm putting a wig on to get on one of those lifeboats, baby.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't believe it? Look at my hips.
There
Look
it
how
is.
wide
Now,
they are.
This
Him-
one is fine because
yeah.
you know what I mean?
The voice?
Yeah.
Him on the Titanic would absolutely have been, well, you just don't see it because it's dark. I am a lady.
I'm going to be the first female basketball player of all time. It's the height. People buy
really
that.
is a fluid concept of what makes a woman and what makes a man. And I think
Somebody
emotionally,
fucking shoots me off the side of the Titanic.
The guy playing the cello just beats you with it.
yeah, it was terrifying. So we picked up the phone. I called the police, and then at that point, I just started lying to the dude. And I was like, hey, man, I've got a fucking shotgun. This thing's racked. I'm going to shoot you through the fucking door. Get off my porch. And I'm like, and I called the cops. So he keeps banging and yelling through the door. But then after about 30 seconds, he stops. And so I sit there, and then I look through the peephole, and he's gone. And I'm trying to lean, and then I go to the side window where I can see a little bit of the porch, and there's no one there. And then shortly afterwards, the cops pull up, and they come in, and they are absolutely useless. They did a lap around the block. You know what I mean? As if the guy kind of just hung out. You know, I'm going to go back to my perch, to my hunting blind, where I was at for a little while. And I'm just going to hang out on the same fucking corner that we all saw him. He just left. He clearly fled the scene. And so I don't sleep for 5 nights. I contemplate buying several different ways. I become an expert in like home invasion and home protection.
Sure.
About, I would say, 6 or 7 months later, it's late fall, and I used to porch drink at that time, like anybody did. You know, nice evening on a weekend.
Absolutely.
You sit out on the stoop, you crush some beers with a folding chair, just listening to music. And I'm an alcoholic, so I start at 10 or 10:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And when you should.
Yeah.
And then my buddy comes over, we're hanging out, and the whole time I'm sitting on the porch, it is like a movie from, like a scene from a mafia film. There's just like an old Buick LeSabre like parked in front with its window down. And this is not a very great neighborhood that I lived in. And these 2 white dudes, backwards caps, just hanging out, just talking.
What'd they sound like?
No. You're not going to rope me in. They sounded very Caucasian.
Yo, man, is this the house?
No.
Is this that house right there?
No. It wasn't. No.
It wasn't like that?
No, it wasn't like they were just.
Yeah, it's the house.
No.
This the house.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was very safe. It was a non-problematic accent that two white guys had for each other. They were just very broy. They were just.
okay.
They were like white dudes with backwards hats trying to look natural.
Okay.
And so.
More of like, do they have an earpiece in type stuff? Maybe.
Yeah. They were
Okay.
just very out of place in this neighborhood, trying to look natural, hanging out against like a mid-'80s sedan for hours.
Sure.
And so finally, me and my buddy, he was the guitarist for a band I was in. Eventually, we're just like, what are the fucking guys doing? And so I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing? And he looks to his buddy and he goes, oh, come over here. And I go over and he goes, yeah, we're watching that house over there because the Kaiser Permanente rapist lives there. And they called this guy the Kaiser Permanente rapist because he used to go to the Kaiser Permanente medical campus and he would walk around, stalk women. He would trap them in handicap stalls, make them smoke crack with him, and then assault them. And so I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And then he reaches into his car and he pulls out a photo and he flips it around and it's the guy that was at my fucking door that night because his grandmother lived across the street and that's where he stayed. And he was barricaded in that house and they ended up catching him that night. He tried to jump out of it. Funny part, he broke his leg jumping.
Love it.
That is
jumping,
funny.
That
I
is
love
funny.
it. That's super
but even
funny.
better.
Kick my door now, motherfucker.
Oh
Love
my
that-
God. But
love
he
that we
broke
got
his
to him being
leg
hurt.
jumping out of a ground floor apartment, which I thought was the best fucking thing ever. Literally like a 5-foot drop, and he hit the ground apparently and crumbled, and his leg
good.
broke.
That's
and they
good.
caught him, and he's been in prison ever since. But that was the
Yeah.
guy
Getting-
that had
Getting
tried-
what happens
Getting-
there. He gets Kaiser Permanente in
Yeah, he
prison.
does.
Give it to him. Yeah. Let's
that's-
wreck that guy.
Oh,
Let's wreck that guy.
I can't remember his name.
We don't need to.
No, but I mean, I'm sure now he's got a podcast, so
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we
I think
we interrupt his listening base. You know what I mean? I mean, he is a dude. He's probably got a podcast.
Permanente rapist.
Yeah, look it up here.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jason Bumbleclaw.
Oh no. That's great. You know, and what had happened
We got
was
it.
is it really it vacated a problematic area, and when you do that, you just fumigated an area of a problem. Look, his timer's still going up.
Yeah. we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
we can see it.
That story rules. I'm so glad that he didn't get in because anytime the door's moving a bunch like that, it's pretty close to the center of it giving way.
Yeah, and see, this goes back to what we were talking about. There's a very, very problematic misunderstanding of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There are upper echelon elite athletes who, yes, would destroy your average person.
Yeah.
But I do a deeply esoteric form of dad wrestling, like I said. I mean, I start on the ground. I'm not going to just be like, hey, he's coming in the door, and then just drop to my ass.
You're not going to shoot the guy.
Can we lock legs? Can we intertwine?
Yeah. Oh, man, if I get a hold of your heel, you fucking asshole. You're imbued with the rage of a broken childhood and sexual deviations.
Yeah.
I got it. I don't think I have defenses for that. They didn't teach us that.
I have a lot of guys my age that are into martial arts, and they do it what it sounds like how you do it, where they go, I go, can you show me something? And they'll go, yeah. Try to punch me, but slow motion.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they put me in an arm lock. I'm like, well, that's not how I would have punched you. Quit fucking breaking my elbow, you dick.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if we get locked up somehow, right? If we end up in a clinch, like if that guy had come in, if I had clinched him, there's a good chance. Okay, I would be fine. I think I would, at the very least, be able to defend myself. It's all the closing a distance.
It's the getting punched to clinch.
Yes, exactly.
It's the-
Being
yeah,
tap,
like,
hit.
tap,
If I can put
Yeah.
him in the camel clutch,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Can I start in a favorable position?
Okay, will you spread your legs so I can step into a sharpshooter? Because once I get you crossed and I start turning,
Yes.
you're gonna tap out.
I put a kid in the camel clutch in
What? Sweet.
in 6th grade.
Oh my God! Way too early.
I know.
That's their spine is still
I know.
developing.
I could have
That's
given
crazy.
him scoliosis. I have no idea. It's like, hey, you look like a question mark, bitch, because I had him up. And then my girlfriend was like, what the fuck are you doing? So I let him go, broke up with me, started dating him, just made out right away, right in front of me.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But I camel clutched him pretty good. I had both arms up on my legs, and I was like, give it. You gotta give.
Why do they call that the camel clutch? Because it does not seem like
Because
something
it was a
camel
Bob
is-
Backlund, right? Bob Backlund was
No,
the
the camel clutch was
Or
the Iron
it
Sheik.
was the
Ah,
Iron
that's what
Sheik.
it
Yeah,
was.
the Iron Sheik.
It's the
What
Iron
was
Sheik.
Bob Backlund's move?
I don't
know who the fuck
boring,
Bob
I don't even know
Backlund
where you
Backlund
pulled
This
that.
feels like
elbow
a
or some
trick.
shit like
This
that.
feels like a trick.
Bob Backlund.
We
no
go,
one-
who's Bob Backlund? He goes, oh, brat, I'm Bob
Well,
Backlund.
it's awesome. Bob Backlund sounds like a guy who owns something like.
Hey, my name is Bob Backlund, and I'm running for the 17th district here in Ohio.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
We're gonna keep Bolivians from walking to the
This is-
United States.
This is Bob Backlund here. I'm the owner of Pure Quality Auto Sound down here on Federal Avenue. Like, it sounds like he owns, like, come on down and get yourself a pair of Rockford Fosgates.
No, here's the thing. I think old Bobby Backlund was a pretty famous guy for people who followed wrestling. He was in the days of Bruno Sammartino and
Just a
the Iron
series of
Sheik.
names.
So Bobby Backlund, born in Princeton. Let's find out what his finishing move is. Hi, I'm Bob Backlund, and my opponent wants to allow men to play high school women's basketball.
So he's an alt-right.
I think in this universe, in the district he's running, this version of Bob Backlund, yeah,
We had a Bob Bjorklund, teacher in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Not a huge fan of mine.
Oh, really? Does not like your comedy?
I would say
he's
if
actually
people
a
said
He's actually a Swedish Bob Backlund tribute act. It's
Yeah.
it's Bob Backlund, but a little bit the Orchard.
yeah, he goes
Swedish chef.
flurgen before he
I
gets
thought
into
it was
the ring.
Icelandic because Bjork is Icelandic.
That's true.
Yeah, Bjorklund.
Bjorklund
Sounds-
was his
it
name.
BJ? Like, was it
Yep.
a BJ? Yeah.
It
The
sure
cross-faced
was.
the
chicken
other-
wing.
I don't wanna
the
talk about it. That's why I
cross-faced
got
chicken
that.
wing.
Show me it.
The
Show me it.
cross-faced chicken wing. If you think I'm going to do that,
Describe
you're crazy.
it to Chad, and I'll allow him to put me in it.
Do
Yeah,
I have
I
to do it in
love
slow
all of
motion
that.
so you can defend it?
No.
Okay.
I would like. Listen, come at me now. Like, come at me now.
There's not enough room.
No, there is. There's plenty. I can work.
How am I supposed to do my move?
Okay, so Ben goes and stands in front of Chad.
Okay,
So
let's do
Ben's
it.
in front of Chad. So
Like,
like,
what I mean, are
but
we
but no.
just-
Ben's facing me on the microphone. Ben's
Okay.
facing me on the microphone. Chad's directly behind him.
Oh,
So Chad-
this is not. This is
Chad-
already a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, he's behind me. So
Yes,
like-
but he's gonna sneak up on you. Yeah. Now kiss the back of his neck.
Okay.
That's how it starts.
it's not a shock.
Okay.
You know why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's not a shock, because that fruit was hanging right in front of our face.
Yes, thank
And
you.
we both avoided that.
Yeah,
Did
thank
you
you.
see that? But you were like, "Ooh, look at that! That fruit's right there. I'll
I
pick
love
that fruit."
fruit.
Yeah, you do. You love
I
it.
love fruit.
Despite the fact that it's hanging right in front of your face. Why don't you aim a little higher?
I have bad shoulders. I don't like to reach high for fruit.
Okay, so keep going. I'm willing to do this.
Okay, and I love that about you.
Yeah, I love this journey for
and
both of us.
Thank you.
Is he still there?
He's behind
Yeah,
you.
okay. Yeah, I can feel it.
He's leaned a little bit to the right.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I want you to
okay.
stay right there, because right now this is giving me the vibe of a guy who owns a motorcycle and a girl who told the guy that she likes the motorcycle, but she doesn't like the motorcycle. And she's
okay.
convinced herself if he makes a weird move and she rolls right, she's going to survive the accident. But we all know that's not
Not going to
true.
happen. Oh,
That's
there
not
it
how
is.
works. You guys don't have
Who rides a motorcycle on the back like that? Have you ever seen? Have you ever seen a woman on the back of a sports bike meerkatting like
Not
this?
for long.
It does not
Not
happen.
for very
you come in
long.
here. That's it, bud. That's it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to scoot back. Now, how's the move go?
Okay, so now you got to let him go. Let's
Okay.
return to zero. So no, I want you back in the spot.
Zero
Assume the
was
position.
where I was before.
Okay,
This
so
is a lot.
Chad, you go left arm, come up, and now hook around his left elbow. So no, other way.
Yeah.
Yep. And now lock that behind his back.
Oh.
Like that. Now I want you to take your right hand, okay, and I want you to put that all the way across his throat like this.
Okay.
And then, but now put your hand on his throat so it kind of looks like you're both hurting and pleasuring him. And now you just rip those two apart. Now you would think that he could get out with that other hand by nut tapping you.
I think he would elbow me right in the ribs and break them.
But a lot of what I've seen is you use that other hand to go, ouch, ouch. That's a lot
okay,
of what
yeah. Well,
happens.
that's my acting hand.
Yeah, that's a
right.
lot
That's
of
my
what happens
sound.
in-
Yes,
Sure.
That's great.
That's the one they raise up
Yeah.
and drop it to see if you're still with us.
Should we do the
Oh.
Stone Cold Stunner next?
No thanks.
I don't know. You know what? I mean, what's most problematic about that whole demonstration is this all came about.
How turned on I was?
Yeah, well, it's also that this was spurned on by a near violent sexual assault story.
Yeah, we didn't think that all the way through.
This isn't going to
No.
make it better, but you smell really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. No, I took a shower.
Here's a picture of
just
Bob
showered.
Backlund in the
Oh.
camel clutch with the iron sheet camel clutch in him. We'll put it on the screen.
Oh, damn.
The camel clutch is a fucking all-time move. Let's
It
talk
really
about
is.
how good the camel clutch is.
It hurts your lower, it hurts your whole spine, and then you go, oh, you think you're done? Because I'm going to go under your chin.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to stretch your neck.
And I'm
out.
also going to get your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes when they were real mean, they'd look like they had their fingers in the,
Oh, like- yeah.
under the jawline, and that hurts too.
And you're sitting on the butt. Yeah, if I have to pick a move to watch a rapist get put in, that's a good prison punishment is a camel clutch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good prison punishment.
Anytime you can make a turtleneck look like a normal T-shirt on a guy, that's a
Yes.
sick-ass move.
You mean you've pulled him
Yeah, you
so
pulled his neck
tight.
so hard that you can't
that-
even tell that he's got foreskin on his shirt.
Let's shift the tenor.
Oh.
Let's shift the tenor. Let's shift it to let's move from home invasions to running into people that are not the worst.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Or-
Transition alert.
Transition alert!
Transition alert.
That was really good.
Thank you. We've been struggling for a long time on this show.
Yeah, is it struggling or not caring? I'm not sure, but
It's one of the two. But I set you right up real firm there.
yeah.
You did. You really put that misshapen ball on the tee, and I'm going to do what
And
I
you're
can.
gonna
with
whack it around.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I can with it. I'm going to do what I can. This is a nice cloth.
Thank
that
you.
You
Well,
guys
they
have put
can't. They can't see it, so.
they can't.
they
Oh, this
sure
is
can.
below sight line.
This is below sight line.
whatever, nobody-
And I don't even want people to know that sight line exists because here's the big secret. It's not a great cloth.
No, and
You don't think this is a great cloth?
I don't think it's a horrible cloth.
This
but
looks like a cloth underneath a buffet-style breakfast at a hotel.
yeah, it does. It does. Or
and that's good to you?
Well, I mean,
Are you
I think
okay?
it's fine.
You met somebody?
I did. I do like that though. It is very buff. Like the burners are underneath
Yep,
it.
absolutely right.
Those are little circle burners, which you're like,
Yeah,
how did
the
those get so?
sterno-
And
the
what's
sterno gel?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
gel. It's like KY, but it burns.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
used to put
just
those
a
in.
different version of a candle.
I used to
No,
make.
it's
No,
not.
it's a jelly.
gel. It's a
because
jelly.
there's
Yeah,
no
but
wick
it's
in it.
Similar.
You-
system.
There's
You
no
don't
wick in it. The
know.
wax
You don't
doesn't burn.
fucking know.
Si, the wax doesn't burn.
Then you don't fucking know. You act like you fucking know.
You don't know what the wax does,
No.
child.
Okay, so we're
Yep, so great job.
Thank you.
I had first class money for a short period of my life.
Yes.
I was
As an adult.
As an adult, I made a television show called Those Who Can't, which was on True TV. For
Yeah,
a
it
few years.
was, and
We like it a lot.
Watched it and loved it.
We like it a lot.
Watched
you.
it and
It
loved
was
it.
real dumb, and that means a lot because I am a big fan of you. Not so much of you, but I am a big fan.
Thank you.
Of you.
Thank
I-
you.
I think we're gonna have to do another episode. Win you back. Maybe start with a more. Hi, it's nice to meet you, Ben, and this is the only way I'll talk because I'm fucking boring. Would that have helped? I never do fun, silly stuff because I'm a square dick.
You
How
know
does-
what? He's never like this until his family members come. and then
That's
he
what it
shows
is.
off
It's
on
showing off in front of his brother.
Well, I would call it insecurity.
It's like you have an Aussie Shepherd and it's the most well-meaning thing, but then a guy shows up and it's dragging the pillows off and just fucking jamming them on the floor
Yeah.
in front of everybody. And it's like, look
yeah.
what this guy lets me get away with.
It's like a little dog that goes out to the front step and has to just bark for a half hour to make sure he scares everything away before he goes into the yard to pee.
Exactly. Oh my God, that is so much more emasculating.
Yeah, that one
was incredibly
Chad's was
emasculating.
worse. I
It
don't
was. That one
like-
hurt, and I'm just in the blast radius of it. It was clearly aimed at you, but
Can I tell you something? I stole that. Someone said it about me, and I was like, I'll pass it on to you.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
I felt like
I didn't even come up with that. I remember
I'm gonna
someone
pay
said
it
it to me at a
forward.
Target, and I was like, fuck it, I'm keeping that for side.
that felt like trickle down
someone
hurtful
said that
words.
to you in a Target.
Yeah,
What were
yeah.
you doing at
Just
that time?
probably being
Just
a dick.
stranger at a Target just says that. Like,
Yep.
did they yell it or just pull you
Oh, I
aside?
think it's. I also have tattoos on my arms,
Yeah.
and I think people see that I cannot jiu-jitsu people,
Yeah.
and so they're like, "Oh, wow, look at you, nice barking."
But the
on your
crazy thing
arms."
is, you look like most of the people I do jujitsu with. You're right about the
And that's
right
a worse
age.
burn than what you just said. to
yeah,
me.
no kidding.
Yeah, it is. It's not.
At the 65 and over jiu-jitsu
all-
that you snuck into, clearly.
They all show up. They take off their rain hat and their jacket.
Do you have a ring now?
Go easy on me. I just had pancakes.
So anyway, I had a television show for a period, which meant I had like first class money.
Tickets. Yeah, you didn't have to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to.
I just want to interrupt you. You can still see this show.
Yes.
It's still streamable, so
Hulu,
please go
right?
watch it.
Yes, it is not.
Or is it-
I appreciate you doing that. You can't find it fucking anywhere.
Wait a minute, because
And I appreciate you doing that. And actually, I appreciate you taking some very coarse rock salt and driving it into every wound on my body. I appreciate that.
I didn't watch it
Because-
that long ago.
I know. It's a long story, but you can't find it anywhere.
That's a I don't want to talk about it tone.
So it was good enough to give you first class money. I'm ready for the story.
Let's just not talk about it.
No, it's great.
No,
It's great.
it was fun to do, and it was an amazing experience. And so this is crazy. This is just a random event. I was sitting in a seat and in first class, and to my left is this woman is just sitting there. I'm married at the time, so I am just minding my own business. But she is kind of cute. Like, she's just kind of attractive, and somehow we start talking about, I think it was about tattoos, because she had a few tattoos on her arm. And we start talking. And this is a flight from LA to a small airport in upstate New York. So we had to stop here in Minneapolis, of all places, at the airport here before we flew there. So she starts talking, and she's asking what I do, and I tell her I'm more than happy at that time to be like, well, I created a television show.
I have a program out on television right now.
And it's going to be there forever.
Yeah, and I'm probably like the most important person on this plane, and it's crazy because I had an alcohol problem. I went to rehab, and I'm like having a great time telling her my story. She's like kind of clean now, like she's saying I don't drink and do drugs. But there's something sort of off about her, so just gives this vibe like I don't know that I believe half the shit she's saying. And so she starts saying, my dad, like I was kind of in the spotlight, my, sort of because my dad and my brother, and I didn't dig too deep on that, It just something felt weird about it, like. I don't know if I just didn't believe her at the moment, you know what I mean? So we're talking, and then she's like, I was like, well, what do you do now? And she's like, I do a lot of different things, but thankfully I don't have to work a ton. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool.
Independently wealthy.
Yeah. And I'm
Great
like,
news.
well, that's great. So I'm thinking her dad's like a business person or something, And she's like, oh, well, I also DJ here and there. And we start talking about her DJing. We talk the whole flight. And then when we stop in Minneapolis, we get off the plane and we both realize we're going to the same small airport in upstate. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to that airport too. My family has a home up there. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. That's cool. So we end up hanging out in the airport. She finds me again at the gate. We end up grabbing some food. We just sit there and talk. We have a great conversation. Then we get on this little plane and we're sat beside each other again. And she's still just talking. And I cannot figure out who this person is.
Can I
and
guess?
by now, guess.
John Gotti's daughter.
No,
Okay.
no. But that's actually a really good guess.
Thank you.
That's actually a really good guess.
Pretty good guess.
It was actually Chelsea Clinton. No, just kidding. That would have been amazing.
Oh,
if I
fuck,
didn't know who the
yeah.
fuck she was, like if I didn't know who Chelsea Clinton was, Yeah, really? Oh my
I
God!
was like-
oh yes, there you are.
I was like, Bill Clinton had a son? I didn't know that shit. With who?
it was. No, so you won't guess it because it's so random and insane. So we land. There's this awkward tension between us. Like, there was clearly an attraction, but I had told her I'm married, and like it was odd, you know. And so at the end, it was like, this was really great to meet you, you know. And we give each other a hug, and it's like, yeah, I'll follow you on the socials. And she's like, yeah, totally, I will too. I just leave her there, and I go and get my luggage, and then I walk to the curb, and I'm waiting for the car to pick me up for the club, and I'm waiting, and then I see her walk out, and she's about three doors down, not very far down from me. I can see her very clearly, and I see her, and then a truck pulls up, and then her dad gets out, and her dad is John Walsh. From
Oh my God.
America's Most Wanted.
Her
The
brother
house-
is famous because he went missing.
fucking
Adam.
disappeared.
Adam Walsh.
Her brother was Adam fucking Walsh, and that's why she's famous. She spelled it out, and I was like, oh my God. And I wanted to meet him so bad.
Well, he's still missing.
Yeah, no.
Oh, John.
I'm John.
Oh, I thought you
wanted
meant
to
Adam.
meet
I thought you
John.
wanted to meet Adam. I was like,
do
shit.
want to meet Adam, and if you're out there, I'd love to meet you, kiddo. And I think so would your family. Like to.
We'll cut that.
Yeah, no, well, don't
Clip
cut
it.
that.
Clip it.
So I was like, do I go over? And she's hugging the family. And she was so sweet and kind. She left. And then I just sort of followed her. And I don't know if you look Megan Walsh up now, it's pretty sad. She's just, her mind is gone or something. Like she's just been in the news for being way off the deep end and like just
bummer.
has lost.
That is a bummer.
Like there was some sort of mental illness there because there was just something off, a little off about her when we were talking. But I liked her. I found her to be like very sweet and very kind, and it really bummed me out to kind of see what she's going through now, because the person that I sat and talked to was a really like kind human being. I'm sure she still is, but she was in tabloids and shit.
Well, imagine the shit she went
That
through.
has to.
Yeah.
not
That
only-
would crush you anyway.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're not a famous person and in the famous spotlight because your dad was John Gotti or Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah,
It's just like being famous.
Who are like basically the same thing. I think it's a
The boss? I get
They're-
it. The
They're
boss.
both
Yeah.
bosses.
Yeah.
They're both bosses.
I love how you went John Gotti and Bruce, but those are the only two guys you know.
Those are
the
I don't
only
know
two
a lot
famous
of, I don't know
men.
a lot of famous guys. And Levon Helm.
He was also put in the camel clutch, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Life put him in the camel
Yeah,
clutch.
Levon Helm.
it was crazy though because John Walsh was like right. It was so clearly it was John Walsh.
He might as well have stepped out of the car and started an episode of the show.
Yeah, but it was John Walsh, and if you can imagine this, it's exactly what you think in your mind, going to camp with his family for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just casual John Walsh. His hair was a
Maybe
little
a smock?
poofier. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was wearing like slip-on shoes, and he had a pair of like gym shorts on, and he was like, "Well, gotta go pick up Megan because I don't know where Adam is. We've never found him, you know." And he just
I don't know if he said that at
no,
home.
no. I think. Are you kidding? That's in every conversation in that truck.
That's probably true.
But it's exactly that. I was like, how do you grow up when your fame?
That's what I'm
is
saying.
from that.
It's like
Yeah.
being the
From
Benet
that.
Ramses.
You're
It's
not
like-
famous.
yeah.
You're infamous. You're an infamous family.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the problem. Fame in this. Well, whatever.
And it's not like, tell us about the movie you were in. It's always like, where's your brother? Like that. I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, serious.
No, but that's funny.
Imagine that.
I know you're
shit
not
from
trying
all
to
the
be.
reporters constantly asking you that.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It would really drive anyone
Yeah,
to the brink.
when you're a kid who maybe doesn't want to be famous, but your family's famous,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would suck enough. But if it's for like, hey, and it's for tragedy, that's
Yeah.
a sucky
And
thing.
also, I think you're never going to be as good as what the child who disappeared could have been.
well, because it's a fiction, because it's a fictional thing.
Yeah, like you'll never live up to what they believe that person.
Now,
was.
I will say, because my sister died in a car crash, and I think how each family responds to that is there's no playbook. It's different with everybody, but I think especially the families like the Walshes, who like obviously he turned it into something, right? I don't think that happens as much as you would think. I think there's just this like. I always say when something horrific happens, like truly horrific, right? It's like, I've probably said this on the podcast before, it's like you get pulled out of the Matrix for that thing. In the movie The Matrix, you see the world for what it is. Like if your kid gets kidnapped, all of a sudden to you, you've spent your whole life, like even though you knew kidnapping was real, it's not really real.
Yeah.
And then when it becomes real, your world just like, for us, anytime my brothers, my sisters, my parents get in a car, you have that thing in your brain that even you go, well, cars are pretty safe and this is fine. You go, oh, that is actually, we see this world through a lens that other people don't. And so I think once something like that happens and you're pulled out, some people probably struggle to that, like you can't live up to it, but I think other people just are grabbing onto whatever life raft they can grab onto until they land in a new reality up over
What's
there.
crazy about that too is I said his name immediately. You knew the son's name.
Right. Yeah.
You knew the name Adam Walsh.
Yeah,
Everybody knew it from our generation. He was the catalyst for everybody being aware, very hyper aware of child abduction.
So here in Minnesota, we have Jacob Wetterling. Same
Oh,
thing.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, where for years and years and years, maybe 40 years.
Dude, they solved it in 2016.
They just found out who it was. And this kid, I was maybe in 4th or 5th grade because the only time my dad ever said anything about me leaving the house, he was like, hey, you got to go with somebody else. You come home with a neighbor kid, you ride out with a neighbor kid, you never, ever are going back and forth. And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then we heard about Jacob Wettering, and you're like, oh.
That's what's going on.
And what's crazy is abductions still happened prior to that, but I feel like the generation before was just so much harder. They were like, it's breakage. Some kids just don't come back. You know what I mean? Like, your family whittles itself down from time to time.
Right.
That's why you have 13 of them. And if you have 7 functioning ones, that's a good one. Like that's a good brood. But I feel like when we were subjected in the 80s and 90s to this great awakening that people are like, there are awful people out there.
Right.
And we paid the ultimate price. I still, at home, have a video that my elementary school made for abductions, like where we went into the gym and then stood in front of a camera with a ruler, like measuring our height, and they asked us a bunch of questions, and we had to turn to the side.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
the parents were given these to give to the police if you
you
were
got
ever kidnapped.
That's
and
unbelievable.
I still have it, and I gotta say, y'all, it's adorable.
Yeah,
like
it's
really adorable.
Can we get that on the screen, Justin? Can you get that? I'd love to get little Ben right.
If I got abducted and the cops came to my dad and they were like, we need a picture of him, and my dad gave the guy a picture, he'd be like, oh, your son's black? Okay, well, I mean, my dad would have been like trying to throw the cops off the scent. Like, we don't want him back.
He's probably up to something. He's gonna be good.
Yeah, it was the most insane random interaction. I couldn't wait to tell everybody. I called to everybody I knew. I was like, holy shit, I just sat next to Megan Walsh, John Walsh's dad. And they were all like, dude, it's like 2 a.m. And no one was excited as I was. And I'm like, fucking John fucking Walsh. He vacations in upstate New York. He's got a Toyota Tacoma with a pretty cherry package on it. I'll tell you that right now.
I know. Here's what I took from this story.
Sure.
She doesn't have to work because of what happened. I wish so desperately my sister would have been abducted.